What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Now, listen, UFC 269 took place at the weekend. As we know, Amanda Nunes, the lioness, the female goat, the GWOAT, whatever you want to call her, she lost. She lost the belt. She lost the title. She lost the fight. Okay? Amanda Nunes is now the undisputed bantamweight champion of the entire world. And a lot of people are saying that Amanda Nunes quit. Okay? Chael Sonnen said that he quit on her channel. A lot of people say she gave up. Here's the thing. When you step foot into an octagon, when you step foot into a boxing ring, what you are trying to do is literally make your opponent quit. That's the name of the game. Whether you knock them out and make them subconsciously quit because they can't continue, whether you beat them down to a pulp where they curl up in a ball and just let you continue hitting them, that's quitting. That's waiting for the referee to step in. Or you tap. That is the most literal quit. But it's not quitting in the true sense of the word. It means you're beaten, you know? So is it okay to say that Amanda Nunes quit? Well, we're going to discuss because I got a lot of information for you, okay? But before I get into all that, I want to tell you about rockauto.com. Listen, if you like working on your car, if you know your way around a car engine, you fix your car, you work on your body, the body parts, whatever it is that you do in your car, and you want parts, you got to go to rockauto.com. They've been in business over 20 years. This offer that I'm telling you about doesn't even have a code because the parts are so goddamn cheap. Okay, whatever you need, you will find at rockauto.com. And you're not going to get upsold by some guy at the storefront markups, doesn't really know what he's talking about, but he's going to recommend you stuff and probably sell you the most expensive stuff. All you do, go to rockauto.com, have a look on the website. They've got everything you need. And as I say, at the best possible prices. So click the link in the episode description down below or just go to rockauto.com. There you go. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, Saturday, as I said, UFC 269. Amanda Nunes lost in the second round via submission to Julianna Pena. Pena got outclassed in the first round. In the first round, Amanda did what everyone thought she was going to do. She knocked her down a couple of times. She won the grappling transitions. When Julianna tried to take her down, she did a little hip toss. When they were on the floor, she won most of the submission, most of the positional battle. She didn't really do too much damage, but as I say, she was on top. She was winning positions. She was passing to good positions. Pena, of course, towards the end of the round, locked in a Kimura. I wasn't too concerned about that. I don't think Nunes was either. But that little bit of a Kimura is a big thing for Julianna Pena, for the psyche, for the confidence level going into round two. It's like, hold on a minute. I did have a modicum of success. I did have a little tiny bit of success, a glimmer of hope that says to the brain, that says to the mind, that says to the inner dialogue, that doubt that everybody has. Hold on a minute. I didn't do that bad. I didn't get my ass kicked. I can still win this fight. Because the thing is, in the octagon, of course, and I talk about it all the time, it's the mind that controls everything. Yes, there is a physical battle going on. Quite literally the most physical of all battles that you'll see on planet Earth. Two MMA fighters going at it. That's physical. But the real battle is the psychological one. Okay? Because this controls everything. Okay? And it can cause you to be immensely confident. It can cause you to throw caution to the wind. It can cause you to be scared. It can cause you to be confident. It can cause you to undertrain, overtrain, right? And Amanda Nunes, given the success that she's had, being the GOAT, the 35 champ, the 45 champ, all these years, this reign of dominance that she's had, she's only human. She's not a robot. Now, I'm not saying she got complacent in training, but maybe she only trained 90%. And in a game of inches, which this is, let me tell you, that 10%, it counts. It all builds up. And if you start slacking off a little bit there, you slack off a little bit there. You slack off a little bit here, a little bit there. You're slacking off everywhere. Now, I don't know if Amanda did that. She told me that she didn't. So I got to take her on her word. But as I say, this is psychological warfare, okay? And the mind games really come into it in a big, big way. Because listen, as I said at the start of this video, you're trying to make your fighter submit. You're trying to make your opponent submit, you know, and that is the ultimate quitting, you know, but it's not the right word, right? Because as I say, you're going to knock them out, submit them, or beat them to a pulp where the referee stops the fight. They're all forms of quittery, if for want of a better word. But still, let's take a closer look. Listen, at the end of the day, right, they went out there, they had a fantastic fight, right? And a lot of people saying that Nunes quit. You know, as I said, there's many ways of quittery. There's very many forms of quittery. I'm going to stop saying that word because it's not actually a word and I know that. But, you know, going out there and losing the way that she did, I believe it all came down to the cardio. I really do believe that, because the thing is, you know, cardio or lack of cardio, being tired, being inside the octagon, getting your ass kicked and not being able to catch your breath. Imagine someone's beating the shit out of you and you can't even breathe because you're so tired, right? That it makes cowards out of every man and woman that steps into a ring or the octagon. And when you're tired like Nunes was, you got that little voice in the shoulder. You got the devil on the shoulder saying, it's okay, just tap, give up. You're still the 45-pound champ. You're still the GOAT. You're going to go down in history. Just tap, give up. It's easy. Because you've been so dominant, you're probably going to get another title fight. I don't know if that was the voice in the head. But what I'm saying is there's a potential that was the voice in the head. There is a potential that inner dialogue was like, you know what, tonight's not my night, but it's okay. I've got the resume. I've still got the 45-pound champ. I can get her in the rematch. What I went out there in the first round and did, what I achieved there, the way that I beat her, I know that I can beat her. But I also know that maybe I didn't put in the road work this time. Maybe I didn't do the sprints on a Saturday morning. I didn't do my circuit training. I didn't do my jiu-jitsu rounds. I didn't do as much pad work this time, did I? So you know what? Screw it. Tonight, I'm feeling terrible. And then on top of that, you're getting fucking choked out. You're like, whoa, fuck this. And that's it. It's over. It's all over. And you're back to normal and you can breathe again and life is good. But then you lose a belt. You know, and I'm sure Nunes is pissed off. She said that things didn't feel right Saturday night. And I get that. Not every night. When you go to the octagon, right, sometimes you just have a bad night at the office. Some people go to work, regardless of what your job is, whatever you do, whether you're a mechanic, a joiner, carpenter, a painter, an accountant, a lawyer, you know, we all have good days and bad days. Now, with what we do, and certainly like, let's say regular team sports like football or basketball, or whatever, rugby, right? They play all the time. And sometimes you have a bad night, you have a bad day. Do you know what I mean? But it's okay because a few days later, you're back in there again and you can make up for it. And you can just say, oh, he still got it. The commentator's like, oh yeah, he's having a great game today. But not with fighting. Sometimes people only fight once a year, 2, 3, sometimes 4. It's crazy. If you're Kevin Holland, you might do a 5 or a 6. I'm not sure what he did last year. It was a lot of fights. But still, you get the point that I'm making. You don't fight very often, and everything, all that blood, sweat, tears, comes down to one night. One night. And if it all goes wrong, that haunts you. It stays with you forever, right? And it keeps you up at night. It keeps you talking to your loved ones. I guarantee her and Nina are sitting there talking to each other, and she still can't believe it. She can't believe what happened. She can't believe that she actually tapped, or for want of a better word, quit. I wouldn't call it quitting. You know, there's no shame in what she did. She was tired. She was beaten. Simple as that. But that inner dialogue, that inner doubt, that self-reasoning of, do you know what? I might tap now because it's not that bad, because I can see a way out of this. I can see myself getting another shot. I'm still the 45-pound champ. I've still got millions of dollars in my bank account. Fuck it. Give it a little tap. I'll come back. I'll get it next time. I don't know if that was going on, but that is like kind of like the psychology, and that is what goes on. These are the inner dialogue, the conversations that you have with yourself. I remember many times that when I fought Anderson Silva, he hit me with that flying knee in the 3rd round. I went down as I hit the deck, boom, the round finished, you know, and I was out of it. And I was mad, and I was angry, and I was pissed off, and I could have blamed everyone. I could have blamed Anderson Silva for it being a cheap shot. I could have fucking blamed Herb Dean for not stopping the fight to give me my mouthpiece and things like that. I could have blamed Vitor Belfort for kicking him in the head and losing a fucking eye, let's be honest. But I didn't. I chose right then and there to pick myself up. But I could have quit. And a lot of people would have, or I could have stopped fighting. That's a better word. And a lot of people would have understood that, you know. So it's a really, really difficult one. Now, let's dig a little deeper. First of all, when I say quit, come on, that's nonsense. Every single man or woman that steps foot into the octagon or in a boxing ring is irrefutably brave. It's as simple as that. If you're going to say, oh, this guy's a pussy, this guy's a coward, they quit, they give up, what are you talking about? Most people watching this have never stepped into a combat arena in their life, right? And that's just the reality. For Amanda Nunes saying that she quit, it isn't fair. you know. But that is the terminology. When you break it down, that's what we're trying to do. But to say that she's scared, to say that any fighter, because sometimes you see it, oh, you're scared. No fighters are scared. You know the amount of courage it takes to walk out there pretty much naked in front of thousands of people with the entire world watching. They're looking down on you, and you can win and you can fail. You can rise, you can fall. You can make a goddamn fool out of yourself, or you can have the best performance of your lifetime. To say that these people aren't brave and that they're cowards or they might quit is nonsense, right? Look at what that takes just to walk out and perform in front of people, right? In whatever sport it is, to go out there and speak and give a speech in front of many people. That is one of the biggest human fears. Imagine walking out there in front of all those people and being broadcasted around the world to fight somebody, but not only just somebody, one of the best people in the world, the number one contender in that division, a world-class badass that is trained in every aspect of mixed martial arts and has spent the last 3 months training to kick your fucking ass on TV. To step in there is nothing but bravery. Simple as that. There is no other word for it. We're not talking cowards. We're not talking pussies. We're not talking pretenders. We're talking the real deal here. These men and women that step in the octagon, they are the real deal. And it's as simple as that. But listen, the word quit, that's a loaded term. You know what I mean? Because it's not correct. I mean, you could say that Amanda Nunes quit because she tapped. You could say that, and by that logic, you would say that any person that ever tapped quit. Well, of course, some people tap because it fucking hurts. Some people tap because their arm's about to snap, their legs about to snap, their knees about to be blown to smithereens. They're about to lose consciousness. There's no shame in that. It's called self-preservation. It's called living to fight another day. When corners throw the towel in, that's not quitting. That's looking out for their fighter. That's saying, you know what, kid, you were beaten today. You know, but you live to fight another day. There's no point going out there for another 2-3 rounds, just getting your ass kicked so you can hold up a moral victory and say, well, I didn't get finished. You know, nah, fuck that. Corners should throw the towel in more. Fighters should have the self-realization sometimes to say, you know what, I'm done. Kind of like Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler. Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler. I did a video on this at the time. I was impressed with him. What I saw from Nick Diaz was a very mature response. He went out there, he fought tooth and nail. Was losing, but I think it was round 3. He was on the floor, didn't want to get up. He thought, I'm beaten. I'm going to get up. I'm just going to take more shots. Yes, to the layman, to the average person, to the person that doesn't know this sport and doesn't know what it takes to step in there, you might say, oh, he quit. He sat on the floor and said, I don't want to continue. That was a self-realization to know that he was beaten. And maybe the corner should have helped out there as well. So look, listen, bravery, being game, being tough, the eye of the tiger, willing to stand in the pocket and trade. However you want to word this, however you want to phrase it, it is one of the most important factors in the whole of mixed martial arts. It's also one of the least understood aspects of our sport. Now, you know, first of all, bravery, it can't be quantified. You know, punching power, you can measure that. Speed, power, agility, you can somewhat get a handle on that. But bravery is not something that can be quantified. It is intangible. You know, and all fighters have it. Some have it more than others. Simple as that, you know. Like when I fought Luke Rockhold on 2 weeks' notice, do you not think I was kind of nervous going into that? Of course I was. But again, it goes back to that psychology, the psychology aspect. You cannot let your opponent know that you're afraid, that you're nervous, that you're having second thoughts, that you're having doubts. Because if they do, that will amplify in their mind. They will run away with that and they will remind you of it and make you feel worse about it. That's what trash talk's all about. The art of trash talk. And there is an art to it. You're trying to make your opponent doubt themselves. Now, we'll bring it back to Amanda Nunes on Saturday night. Let's take a look at some of the facts. Because the reality is that Amanda Nunes, she's not a robot. She's human. You know, and these maybe a little bit of ego, maybe a little bit of complacency, maybe a little bit of underestimating Julianna Pena sneaked in. As I say, she's not a robot. But let's look at some of these stats here. First of all, she hasn't lost since March 2015. Okay? She's got 6.5 years, 6.75 years of confidence going up against world-class competition. She was on a 12-fight win streak that included dominant wins over 7 world champions. Okay? Including literally a who's who of female mixed martial arts. We're talking Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg, Misha Tate, and Valentina Shevchenko. twice. She's undisputedly the female GOAT, right? Simple as that. She's beaten everyone. Measured against that, check this out. Julianna Pena was on a 1-fight win streak. She was 2-2 in her last 5 years, and she had lost inside the distance to two people, Jermaine Durandame and Valentina Shevchenko, that Nunes had beaten. So if we're honest, right, she only got the title shot because Amanda Nunes had beaten everybody else. And when you look at those stats that I just said, how successful Amanda had been, and when you kind of see that Julianna in some ways kind of pales in comparison to in terms of success, again, as I said, Amanda's not a robot. She's human. She looks at the massive success. She looks at her resume not being as good, and maybe she steps off the gas in training. Again, I don't know that. I'm not trying to make excuses for her. Julianna was sensational on Saturday night. She refused to be beaten, right? And in the second round, when they stood toe to toe, right, and Nunes wanted to back off and take a breath, Pena was relentless. She was the better woman on the night. She had more will to win. She'd done the homework. She'd done the road work. She'd done the groundwork. She'd put in the work, and she was ready to go. Nunes wasn't. Nunes gassed. Nunes got tired. Nunes got tapped out, and that's why. So look, listen, there it is. We can sit here, we can talk about it all night long. The fact is Julianna Pena is the undisputed champion of the world, right? And God bless her. Well done, Julianna. I am not taking away from her win, because this happens in all fights. Do you know what I mean? And maybe not all fights, a lot of fights. Like my fight with Rockhold, a popular narrative, he was overlooking me. He came in too confident. I would say to that, he was training for fucking Chris Weidman the whole time. And then the last 2 weeks he fought me. But still, maybe he was complacent. And you see it all the time. So this is a popular narrative, or a common narrative, better word. A common narrative in all fight sports, in team sports, and then the psychology of it all as well. Like, for example, when Nunes knew that she was starting to get tired and she could see that Pena was starting to take over, Pena is growing in stature and confidence. Nunes is getting more and more tired. And she's like, oh my God, shit. Panic stations. She's still coming. I'm trying to get away. I'm getting cracked in the fucking face. This is not going well. Oh my God, she's wrapped around my neck. Fuck it, tap. I'm done. Like when you see like a football team, you know what I mean? Let's say it's the World Cup or whatever, and one team's playing another, and, you know, they're in the second half, and one team's just tearing ahead. It's 5-0, something like that. The other team falls apart. They look like shit because they know they can't win. They're mentally beaten. They're distraught. They know that they've lost. Right, sometimes they pull it back. Not very often though. But you know what I mean? They know they've lost, and the other team grows in confidence and they get better and better and better. Maybe not the best analogy. I know absolutely nothing about football. I know a little bit, but like that's about it. Not much. But still, you know, is it okay to say that Amanda Nunes quit? Yes and no. You know, because in reality she did, but it's not fair to her. Not fair to Amanda Nunes' resume, what she's achieved, the people that she's beaten, the wars that she's put on, the electrification of the audiences that she's brought, you know, like that head kick over Holly Holm, that win over Chris Cyborg, the knockout over Ronda Rousey, and it just, the list goes on and on and on. The two tactically brilliant fights against Shevchenko over 5 rounds. She didn't slow down in that one. So anyway, listen, it sounds like I'm making excuses for Nunes. I'm not. I'm just talking about the psychology of quitting and tapping and all the rest of it. And some people are saying that she quit. She kind of did. But she quit for a reason. She quit because she got beat by the better person. She maybe quit because she was underprepared. She maybe quit because she got complacent. She maybe quit because, guess what? You can't win every single fucking fight you go into, you know? Who knows? Maybe the rematch won't be different. Maybe it will. Only time will tell. What I do know, it was a great run. It was a great fight. And Julianna Pena is now a fantastic champion. By the way, the only woman to give birth who's now a champion in the octagon. So congratulations to her for that. And congratulations for being the bantamweight champion. As I say, Julianna just became the champ. We know more about Nunes. I'm all talking about Nunes, but there's a big story here. It was a big upset. We're trying to break it down as to why this might have happened. And she quit. But there's different levels of quitting. She didn't quit on herself. She quit because Pena made her quit. She had no option but to quit. She was tired, she was gassed, she'd run out of steam. It's the loneliest place in the world. There's no team to fall back on. You can't just like take it easy for a few minutes and let your teammates do the rest of it. You're in there, Julianna Pena's got her arms wrapped around your neck and you're about to go to sleep, and on top of that, you can't breathe, you're tired, you can hardly hold your arms up. It's the worst place in the world, trust me, I've been there. So listen, Amanda Nunes, unlucky champ, you'll be back. Julianna Pena, congratulations on a very gutsy, incredibly inspiring performance. Well done. And to you guys, thank you for watching. Hope you liked that. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you understood what I was saying. Do me a fiver? Do me a fiver. Send me a fiver. Subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. I'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you very much.